All right, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across this world. Just a quick video here. I was going to make a video last week. I actually started making it, and then I got so frustrated that I stopped. It was about the cancellation of the NCAA tournament. I just want to go on record in saying that with all the stuff that's going on with COVID-19, which is colloquially called the coronavirus, and this thing is just crazy. I've got to get a new stand here. I was one of these people who thought that this virus was being overblown, and then I started researching and really started paying attention to the details. And I can unequivocally say that I was wrong. I was wrong about the nature of it. I was wrong about not taking it seriously. Now, me living here in the middle of the United States, Kansas City, we've had, I think, 4 confirmed cases in our area. It's very, very low numbers, almost not even worth talking about here in our city. There has been 1 death, and I say 4 cases. I think there's been more than that, but there was 1 death on the Kansas side at a nursing facility. Obviously, somebody who with a compromised immune system who caught the virus and unfortunately passed away. The thing that concerns me more is, how did this person get it? If someone's in a nursing facility, a nursing home, how did they get the coronavirus? See, that's the more troubling aspect of this to me, is this person obviously wasn't traveling, but it highlights the absolute need to be careful and to what they're calling social distancing. This stupid thing. And how vitally important it is to distance yourself from people. Like today, I was going to work from home, and turned out I actually have to go to the office because there's a couple things I have to do that I cannot do at home because of the nature of my job. And now, that said, all these recommendations of 50 people or less for 8 weeks, they don't apply to businesses. And now the question is, should they apply to businesses? And I think there's a lot of businesses that are proactively going out there and saying, doing a mandatory work at home. I know Cerner, a company here, a local company here. I'm trying to fix this again. This thing, I just need to buy a new one. Cerner is a company that has basically said that they've shut down all their employees, mandatory work at home for the next 2 weeks minimum. I have a friend whose spouse works there, and that's what they're telling them. And I work for a fairly large company here in Kansas City as well, and the difference on my side is that I have a corporate side and I have a federal side that are both pulling strings, and there are definitely some parts of our jobs that cannot be done remotely for various reasons, reasons that I cannot get into, and then there are some jobs that you just can't do at home. I mean, if you work at a grocery store, and I tell you, anybody who's watching this or can forward this to somebody who works at a grocery store, you guys are the true heroes. You guys are the ones on the front lines. And look, and if you're watching this and you go to the store to try to get something and they're out of it, please don't yell at the workers. The workers have nothing to do with the fact that there are a bunch of idiots out there buying up all the toilet paper, okay? There's nothing the workers can do about that. They stock the shelves with the material and with the supplies that they have. So please, don't get on to the workers. What are they going to do? They're not in charge of the supply chain. And stuff like that just really, really bothers me. So have some common sense. And again, my biggest thing is this: don't panic. Live your life, but live it with an extra degree of caution that you would not normally do. And, for us, we're going to take it fairly seriously. That's what we're doing. We are essentially, stopping all unnecessary gatherings. And anytime we get together with people, we're just going to take an extra measure of caution. I read a really good article last night actually, that said while there's no vaccine for the coronavirus yet, there is something that is 50% more effective as kind of a do it at home vaccine. And I clicked on the article. The headline got me curious. So I clicked on the link, and it was from the USA Today. So it wasn't like it was like one of those crazy sites or anything. So I clicked on the link, and it was basically about just wash your hands. That when you come in contact with things, just wash your hands. Hand sanitizer is okay in a pinch, but hand sanitizer is not as effective. So don't load up with all this hand sanitizer. Actually get a good soap. And people talk about antibacterial soap. Well, of course, that's good for antibodies. Antibacterial is not antiviral. So there is a difference between viruses and bacteria, and I'm not going to get into the science of it here because, to be honest with you, I don't know all the science between those, but I do know that there is a difference between the two. So please, wash your hands. Wash your hands, and don't be around people who are older than 60, 65 years old, especially those with immune systems that are compromised right now. I have a grandmother who has just started chemo treatments, and it really pains me, and it breaks my heart that I have to stay away from her for at least 2 months. And now she's in good spirits. I can talk to her on the phone. I can, video chat with her. But it's, she's basically only going to get to see my mom and my dad for the time being, because they're locking her down in her house. We don't want to take that risk. I mean, the cancer enough is problematic enough. We're going to have to. We had to make special concessions anyway. And like, she missed my birthday dinner because she didn't want to be around some of the kids at some of my nieces and nephews, and even my own son, who are kind of on the fence about getting over some stuff. So she just didn't want to take a chance. It was a good thing too, because the next day my son had a fever and had to stay home from school for a couple days. This was a couple weeks ago, and it's one of those things where you just don't want to take a chance. And it breaks my heart that I can't be around her, but I'm going to do the responsible thing, because while I myself, I'm not sick, and I don't think I'm carrying the coronavirus. I haven't been around anybody I haven't been exposed to anybody. I distance myself anyway. We're not around a lot of people regardless. But you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. And if more people would do that, they would, essentially what they're calling flattening the curve, and we can avoid what's going on here in the United States as opposed to what's happening in Italy. China has already figured it out. If you can believe the numbers coming from China, China has figured it out, and their cases have already peaked and they're rapidly dropping. So we got to get through the next 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll be fine. And then life will, I'm not going to say it's going to get back to normal, because I think there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from this. There's a lot of things that we can do differently going forward. And I hope that this gets people, into a mindset where, conscientious of their own personal health and hygiene, but also about not taking unnecessary risks. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Especially, I think the next 2 weeks is going to be really difficult for most Americans. And I think, like I said, most people are saying 8 weeks, before large gatherings. I think the next 2 weeks is going to be really tough. But after that, I think we should start seeing some bounce back. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys later.